When I was in 6th grade, I felt very pressured by society and my peers to be a certain way because since I was different from everyone else, people started calling me emo, and I didn't know what emo really I knew what emo was to me. Emo was like a style, but to everyone else, emo was about self-harm.
You have to have a big bust and a big butt and a small waist.
Since I felt pressured by everyone, I felt like since they were calling me emo, I needed to cut, and that's how I started with that.
It's all about being like a plastic, not sweating, clean person.
And long eyelashes for girls, and a small nose, and full lips.
And it's changed me as a person completely because of how I was judged in 6th grade.
I think it's really interesting to look at the history of the concept of beauty because you can really inspect as to how much it's changed over time and how our opinions have changed along with it. Once you get to the Renaissance up until like the Victorian era, it changed, like the fad of what people thought was beautiful, and that the slim shape and like the corset body was what people wanted and what people thought was beautiful. And once you get to the 20s, there was the skinny body, the skinny twig with the pearls. And I feel like it's changed a lot now in that today it's more based on what you think individually as opposed to what the people around you all think collectively about a person.
Society's definition is what you see on TV and magazines with the models that are photoshopped. So basically, it's this very superficial sense of beauty. It's basically a mask of a person.
You see like a Vogue magazine and you see like models of women plastered all over the front of it, and society kind of strives for that because that's what they see beauty as, because that's what they portray it as. And like me, for guys, it's like walk into Abercrombie or something and you see the guy models on the wall and they've like perfect abs and they're perfectly defined, and like not every guy's like that. You get guys of all different kinds of sizes and shapes, and many people don't know this about me, but I actually used to have a pretty big mole on my face. It was right about here, so it was kind of in plain sight, and I'd say around 3rd grade, 4th grade, I asked my mom, if I could get rid of it. She said, yeah, it would probably be a good idea. And I got it removed because society, people used to make fun of me for it. They used to say I had a piece of food on my face. It was pretty horrible, and it wasn't great for my self-esteem.
Someone who fits my definition of beauty is someone who has a beautiful personality. Like, they understand other people and they're humble.
I had this really good friend in high school who I thought was like the most beautiful woman in the world, and I was talking to my guy friend about it, and he was like, she looks like a gorilla. And I was like, well, that's not very nice, or maybe it is. Maybe gorillas look really good.
I think that every style has their own definition of beauty. I think that people that look more like me with piercings and tattoos, different colored hair, I think that's beautiful. I think it's a way to express yourself, and even if you don't do that, you're still beautiful because as long as you're original, you're beautiful.
So I think that beauty really has to be like internal, and it has to be like you have to have your own beauty standards for yourself, because otherwise, because you can never live up to something if you're not the one who's creating it.
I cut my hair because there's this definition and this expectation for girls to have long hair to be beautiful, and I think that having short hair is what I want, just because I wanted to do it one time in my life. So if they're judging beauty by being long-haired, just stereotypical girl characteristics, then that's not someone I want to have in my life anyway.
There's no specific clothes that you should be wearing or a specific way you should be doing your hair, your makeup, or whatever. Like, just as long as you're comfortable and as long as you are a good person, I think you're beautiful.